How's it going, everybody? It is fucking hot, man. Like, it is so hot out today. I don't know why I don't just do these in my AC in my room, but Friday the 13th, Part 7, A New Blood, or Weekend at Carrie's, as I like to call it. 1988, directed by the great John Carl Buechler, who is always going to be crackerjack. He drinks his own piss. Don't pay him any attention. That's such a great movie. Coincidentally, with Kane Hodder, who makes his entrance as Jason in this movie, which I absolutely adore Kane Hodder. Like, love him so much. Like I said in one of these videos, if he was in playing Jason, was in like 2 through 4, he'd be hands down the best Jason in the best movies in this series, like by far. But unfortunately, it's not how it worked out, and Ted White is still my favorite Jason, but Kane Hodder is right after that. I think he just brought some sort of amazing aggression to the role of Jason, and just his whole thing with like his shoulders breathing and just like his posture and just everything about how Kane Hodder portrays Jason in these next few films is awesome. Like, that's like pretty much the Jason most people know is Kane Hodder. And he ain't just a stuntman, trust me. Like, I've seen anyone who's seen Kane Hodder act, like, not as Jason or Victor Crowley, like, just like himself. Even in the Hatchet series when he plays Crowley's father. Like, he's played some emotional roles and he does a great job. Like, he's a decent to good actor. Like, he's not just a stuntman. And we got Terry Kaiser in here from Weekend at Bernie's, which is just going to be a whole discussion on that movie. We have our recap back, which I'm so happy after getting deprived of that shit from Part 5. Finally get another recap for everyone who can't follow this series year after year. And it's narrated by our favorite Crazy Ralph, which I didn't know until this rewatch. I mean, he sounds kind of like, once you know, you can tell from his voice, but like, yeah, that's Crazy Ralph, even though he's dead. So, like, I don't know how that makes sense with him narrating this, but it's just the actor. It's not really Crazy Ralph, because he is deader than dead. And this movie was supposed to be like Freddy versus Jason. This is like the movie they were starting to get that idea for. Like, they wanted to do it for this, and New Line, who owns Nightmare on Elm Street series, and Paramount couldn't come to agreements and stuff, so we'll get it in the next movie, don't worry, I'm sure. And if Freddy was here, I'm sure he'd have something to say about all of it. But we have the shot of Jason underwater, which is awesome. Like, just his whole look in this movie with his mask and like the chain wrapped around his neck, and just awesome look for Jason in this movie. This is one of my favorite like looks for Jason. Like, absolutely. After like 3 maybe, then this is my favorite Jason. Like, he looks so good in this. And I'm guessing this is taking place the beginning when Tina kills her dad by accident on a Friday the 13th, because right on the door outside their house, which I don't know what type of place that is for a calendar, but it says October 13th. Doesn't say the year. So again, like, this whole timeline, like I said in 5, that goes forward like a decade or so. So like we're in like 91 from there. Then this movie goes forward again, like another time jump. So we're in like the late 90s at this point. Like, this whole fucking timeline, man. Then Tina has the dream of killing her dad and using her telekinetic powers. Like, Richard, why don't we just pretend he didn't die? Just for a bit. Like, I fucking love that movie. And Dr. Bernie's studying her psychic abilities and the whole thing with the matches and stuff. Like, this whole movie is just totally ridiculous. Like, just the whole idea of having a psychic telekinetic character against Jason. I mean, like I said, they were trying to go for Freddy versus Jason, so I guess the next best thing they can think of was Carrie versus Jason. It's cool. Tina's a cool character, and like the little cool little effects they do with her telekinesis and stuff. And then she brings Jason back, like, from under the water with her telekinesis, but like, she was trying to resurrect her father. So all she needs to like hone these abilities is just like a coordinate issue. Like, just she got the wrong coordinates there. Like fucking that was Jason's body. Move it over like whatever amount of feet to where the dad is laid to rest in the Camp Crystal Lake, and she would have resurrected the father, and we would have never gotten the movie. But and when he comes out of the water at the, I'll save that for the end. It's so ridiculous. And then we get the couple in the woods again. None of these names matter at this point. And the girl gets stabbed through the neck, and then the guy gets a throwing knife right in his spine. That's got to be so fucking painful, man, of getting just anything like shoved or thrown into your spine, and then you're just paralyzed and you can't do anything to escape that situation if you survive that initial fucking hit to the spine. Like, that's really gotta suck. Then Melissa is like the first character in this series that I am aching to be murdered. Like, instantly, as soon as you meet this girl, you want her deader than dead. You want this girl butchered, and we get a great satisfying kill with her later. And like I was saying in the last movie about the gore and everything, and I've been saying and remembered that this movie was like the most butchered one by the MPAA and everything, there is more gore in this than in 6. Like, the kills are super quick and everything, sure, but like there's still more effects, and like you see more of the kills in this movie, most of them, than in part 6. So this instantly, because of that, elevates this movie over 6 for me. But yeah, Melissa is just, what a terrible character, man. Like, you just want this girl to be axed in the face, and that's exactly what we get. And even as a zombie, Jason's great at knowing everything and when to reveal shit, when to remove stuff. Like when she sees the metal spike in the porch in the pole, and she runs in and says that she saw it and to go out and check, and then it's not there. I mean, we find out later that it's Bernie who took it, but still, zombie Jason picks up right where he left off in the last movie, which is having amazing timing with revealing bodies and all that shit. And then we get the hand through the guy's back and breaks his neck. That's a cool kill. Like, just seeing his hand go through his back and shit. Like, we didn't see anything like that in 6. So, like, there's definitely a little bit of gore here, and I wouldn't expect any less from Giancarlo Beekler. Like, he was a special effects guy most of his career. But definitely a lot more satisfying, the kills in this movie, even though they are really short and cut to hell, than in 6, like, for sure. And then we get the infamous sleeping bag kill, which he had to do this take, Hodder, like over and over again. Like, that's gotta be fucking hard, man. I mean, sure, he's a big guy, but like to be repeatedly slamming that sleeping bag against the tree, and he was supposed to do it like 3 or 4 times, right? And they just cut it down to 1 because they said it was too brutal after that. I don't know. And then they ended up doing like the full kill when Jason X, I think, when they had the hologram of Camp Crystal Lake. So we got like what was supposed to happen in that one. And then they can't see Melissa eavesdropping on them in the woods, Tina and Nick. And she's talking about her being in an asylum and stuff like that. And she's out of the hospital, and that's her doctor with her and everything. Like, all the trees in these woods are so skinny. Like, all he had to do, and he goes and looks, and he doesn't see Melissa there. Like, all you have to, like, I see you. Like, you're right there. Like, that's all he had to do. And just she's using Harry Potter's invisibility cloak, I guess, because she does not get seen. And this guy doesn't run from Tina immediately. I mean, yeah, she's been through so much shit, but like the reveals that she keeps throwing his way, like, again, I've said in videos, like, nothing will kill a fucking hard-on for a guy, like, ever. Like, this girl is like, yeah, and I know I killed my father and stuff. And you know that guy with me, like, he's my doctor, like, from the hospital. And I'm like, just came out of a mental institution. Like, really? Like, yeah, I mean, nice of him to look past all that. But I'd pass. Like, that seems like a lot of baggage to, like, be dealing with. And didn't he say he's from Pittsburgh? And he comes out here every now and then. So, like, it's not like they have any future together anyway. And then Melissa's whole thing with this having her friend put the jacket on backwards, like a straight jacket, like, reminds me of like the Chucky TV series with Lexi. I'm not going to spoil it for people who haven't seen the series, but the whole thing with Lexi, like, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And like her pearl necklace, Tina breaking it and stuff, like with her telekinesis. Good, she deserves it. And then they break the TV when she's moving shit around the room, and she ends up throwing the TV across the room. Like, they're gonna need Monroe the butler in here. That's what they need. Now, it's all right, Monroe. Like, just would you lay out my blue pinstripe for the morning? Or if I lay you out? Fucking so good. I'm gonna have to rewatch that movie after this. Like Carrie, for sure. And then Jason straight up teleports in this movie. Straight up teleports for like the first time. Like when he gets the machete and hits the guy in the face on the beach, then he's like instantly in the water, underneath the water, when he like comes up on the naked chick and drowns her, which is original. We don't really see anyone just gets flat out drowned in this movie by Jason. So cool kill, seeing a fully naked Sandra being drowned by Jason. Cool stuff. Then, yeah, we found out that Bernie took this spike out of the porch, and what an evil fucking prick this... He's such a prick, this doctor, man. Like she says in this, like, he doesn't want to help her at all. Like, he just cares about his research into telekinesis and everything. He don't give a fuck about this girl, or about her family, or mother, or it's her past with the father, nothing. And he plays that off really well. Like, it's cool to see Bernie playing an evil prick. And he even sees a body in the fucking woods, so he knows that Tina's right, that there's a murderer around, and he still doesn't say anything. Like, he's like, he's so like one-track minded with the whole telekinetic thing that he's fucked up, man. And then Maddie, the not as gorgeous chick as the rest in this movie, she cleans up pretty good. Like, the friend says, like, you need to touch up. And she ends up going and putting all the makeup on. She touches up pretty good. Pretty good. But she did touch up. Like, afterwards, like she says, like, touch up my ass. Like, that would imply that you didn't need to touch up. And that you can just, like, blink and your face is a lot better. Like, that's not what happened. She did touch herself up. So that line makes no sense. And she absolutely touched herself up. So she did need to do a touch-up on herself. So... that girl was right. And then no one gets to see her, though. Like, looking all, like, fantastic and new and everything. No one gets to see her new look because she gets fucking killed. And the body falls from the tree. Who knows who that is? Fucking, again, the characters in these movies from, like, the last one forward. I don't remember hardly any of these people's names. Unless, like I said, that their name is said... like 2 seconds before I'm about to write a thought down or fucking something I'm laughing at, then their name isn't getting mentioned. They're just dead bodies walking until they die. Then she gets grabbed through the wall, and I guess her throat is slit. Like, we see her body later. Like, that's a thing too. Like, even though the gore is a little more prevalent in this movie, you still don't know what the fuck happened to half these people. Like, it's implied. But, like, anything that has to do with cutting anything with any type of sharp implement, you can only guess, like, what happens with these people until you see their bodies. And then Ben gets his head crushed vertically, which is cool to see. Instead of our standard squishing the face this way, we get it down this way, and then we get some blood squirting out and stuff. Cool kill. And the girl gets the party horn in the eye. Stupid. I mean... just the honk at the end, like when she gets it through the eye and you hear like the honk, like fucking silly, man. Like, there's still some of that silliness from 6 bleeding into this movie, but not a lot. Like I said, after 5, that I think 5 is the last of the films that has like the same tone. This actually kind of has that same tone as like the early first 5 films. So it's like 6 is like really the outlier here in the whole series, like with the tone to it and everything. Where like it's meta humor and like self-referential like comedy and everything. And then the writer guy is funny. I forget his name, Eddie, I want to say, and just like his constant lines of like ideas for science fiction books and stuff. That's some funny shit. And then Soap on a Rope. When a guy mentioned Soap on a Rope, what a fucking idea that was, man. Like, that's all you need is just a stupid fucking invention. Like My Pet Rock. Anyone who remembers that shit, fucking, that guy made millions just by selling rocks. And it's My Pet Rock. And fucking, like, the ideas that some people make money off of. Like, make a like a life-size dead horse, and you can call it My Dead Horse. And then anytime that someone is just constantly going on about something over and over again, you can just start beating it. It comes with a little baseball bat. So you can just beat your own dead horse whenever somebody's going around. Somebody who's an inventor, go ahead, steal the idea. Market that shit. If you make money, throw me like 5-10%. That's all I'm asking for. Money's not that big of a concern to me. Then there's no way Nick doesn't immediately expect Tina when they find his cousin dead in the woods. Like this girl said to you earlier, I think your cousin's dead. Then leaves him with that news. Like she just leaves and goes into the house. Like that's some way to leave this guy, man, with some, that's a bomb to drop on somebody. And then just completely disappear into your house and say, I gotta go. But then like, she says this to him. And then they see the cousin dead, and he doesn't immediately suspect her of killing him. Like, he doesn't know that Jason is a thing. And, like, she said right to him that I think he's dead. Then they find him dead. No one believes in fucking psychicness and shit. Well, I mean, there are, but, like, fucking stupid. Fucking con artists those people are. And I've said that once in the past. There goes my spiritual watchers. Fucking, you're being fucking scammed. Like anyone into psychics and all that, but I'm not getting into that whole thing. That's the whole thing. And but yeah, she doesn't suspect her like right off the bat. I find that very hard to believe. Like I would immediately say, you fucking killed him. Like how did you know he was dead? And then that whole line of questioning you can go down through. Like absolutely. Then the guy finds the penis enlarger and gets the machete to the neck. For God's sakes, Larry, no one is going to have a sex change operation. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, man, so good. It's funny how this movie kind of lines up with so many quotes from that. Then a fucking cat, again, fucking in this. And she even says how this doesn't make sense. She's in David's room, and she's like, David doesn't even have a cat. So, like, they straight up address it in this, that there's no reason for that cat to be there. And it's locked in a closet. You see this shit a lot, too, in movies. Like, the cat's, like, in a drawer or in a fucking closet. And, like, how long's he been in there? Like, that cat's dead. Like, give me a dead cat jump scare. They open the closet, and it's just a fucking dead cat. And they go, ah. And fucking, like, better than a live one jumping out. But insert silverback gorilla jump scare, as I will do from now on with all of these fucking cat jump scares. Silverback gorilla. That's all you need. Scare the shit out of anybody. And you even have like a silverback gorilla jump scare, like Jason wouldn't have to do anything. Like just, that gorilla comes out and jump scares somebody, they just black out. Fucking Jason just has to just toss him out a window or something. Like that's all he has to do. Like trust me, that silverback gorilla and Jason would make an excellent team for a Friday the 13th movie. Absolutely. And then she finds David's head, and Jason throws her right through the window. Speaking of getting thrown through windows, brutal looking. Like, just the way she hits the ground, like, is so much better than, oh, who the fuck, man? Who's gonna remember all these names from these movies now, watching all these back-to-back? The twin who gets thrown out in part 4. Fucking Terry? Or is it Tina? No, Tina's in this. There's too many T's. Like in one of the twins, when she falls on the car and the windows like burst out. I like this kill better. Like being thrown out the window and just hitting the ground. There's something like a lot more like brutal to that. And like in 4, you can see like the top of the car like give way. So you can tell it was fucked with. It was a prop car and everything. So like this kill definitely I like a lot better. And just all the shots with Jason walking in the woods with like that, looks like a fucking halberd or like a glaive or something, like from a fucking like medieval like RPG. And him walking through the woods with that, really cool shots of Jason. And then Bernie holding Tina's mom as a shield in front of him, and then she gets killed. That's so fucked up. Like, what a dick, man. Like, anyone who saw this movie for the first time and was already thinking how big of a fucking asshole Bernie is in this, that scene solidified it. Like, are you serious? You take this poor fucking woman and you put her in front of you as a human shield against this against Jason. Like, come on, get the fuck out of here. That's so insane. That is so depraved for this guy to do that. Then she sees the blood on him, and Tina, and she thinks, like, for a second, she's like, what did you do? Like, thinks that he killed her mother or something. It's like, it's just Bernie. He's not a killer. Like, do we look like a bunch of psychopathic killers to you? Let me rephrase that. Do I look like I can kill somebody? Awesome. And then Bernie gets killed with the electric fucking weed whacker, it looks like, or something. Who knows? I mean, it's a tool. It moves on its own. And he gets... I wish that kill was longer. Like, they do have the uncut kills online, like, in, like, real bad condition. And I think I've read now that, like, nowadays that, like, Paramount got rid of all the outtakes, so, like, they don't even exist anymore. So we have, like, no chance of getting, like, an uncut version of this, which sucks, because his kill... in the uncut kill, like, actually looks really good. Like, he gets it, like, in the stomach with the weed whacker thing, like, multiple times. Like, it looks really, really cool. Quite a ride, Burn. I'd give it an 8.3. I can quote that movie all day long. And then Jason Zombie gets lazy with the fucking reveals and bodies and shit. Like, when Tina's running around, final girl chase, there's just 3, 4 of them just chilling right in the same spot. He said, fuck this, man. I'm done running around, hiding shit, waiting for fucking this girl to come around for me to just shove shit in her face with these dead bodies. I'm just parking 3 of them right here. Fuck it. But then he still has the ability to have that one fall down from the tree right when Tina's standing there. Really, really cool, the skills that Jason has. And then some of the shots of Jason and Tina, like, battling it out near the end. Really, really cool stuff. Like, just having... like, the whole psychic showdown against Jason is fucking highly entertaining, man. Like, even if it is, like, ridiculous and totally out there for this series, you gotta admit, it's fucking fun as shit to watch Kane Hodder get the shit beat out of him by a psychic Tina. Like, really, really cool stuff. And then Melissa, I love this so much. It's my favorite kill in the movie. Like, without a doubt. Just because of how big of a bitch she is. When she opens the door and Jason's just standing there and just whacks her in the face with the axe, and he tosses her behind the TV like she's a fucking feather. Like, that's what I mean with Kane Hodder as Jason. Like, just the way he handles his victims and, like, their bodies, and just the way he, like if touches them, just throws them to the ground, or like, just, like, he could throw them like they're a pebble. Like, you know, he's just, like, so aggressive and just like brutal, man. Like, he really is. Like, Hodder brought so much more aggression to Jason, which makes sense because he's a zombie now, and he's fucking, like, you can't kill him. He's supernatural, whatever the fuck you want to call him. He's a walking corpse of a deformed mongoloid who drowned but didn't drown, and then grew up in the woods surviving on wildlife, and saw his mom get decapitated, and then got killed a few times, and then finally got killed, and then got resurrected, and now he's a dead walking corpse. So, like, that's basically where we're at here with this series. But man, Melissa getting axed in the face like that is so great. Like, absolutely awesome. Then Jason falling through the stairs after he gets hit with the light in the mask in his face, and then he falls down into the stairs. Pretty sure that was Kane Hodder's idea. I think he was just going to roll down the stairs, is what they had in the script, and Hodder said that, like, it kind of looks weird with Jason just, like, rolling down the stairs, like, especially the way Jason is now, and he's like, yeah, I can just fall through the stairs if you want. And Beekler was like, yeah, if I can do that. Like, Hodder has brought a lot of his own ideas to this series, in the movies that he's been in, and in the Hatchet series. Like, he's good with that. Like, we're just coming up for, like, clever little touches to throw in there. And, like, he would say, like, on multiple occasions, like, yeah, no, Jason wouldn't do that. Like, he that's not something Jason would do, so I'm gonna do this instead. Like, he understood the character so much, and, like, you can tell in any interview with Kane Hodder. And I got to meet Hodder once. He was, like, one of the few horror people that I got to meet. Like, I never really got big into conventions and stuff, but him and Felissa Rose I met when they were doing the Victor Crowley, like, tour, if you want to call it, whatever, like, talking about that movie, which she's a sweetheart too, man. Felissa Rose is such a doll. Like, she is so sweet. Love her. And then crushing his mask off, like with her telekinetic powers, and like the ooze and shit coming out of the back of Jason, of his head and stuff before his mask pops off. Really cool. And then like his whole face underneath the mask looks really nice in this. Like, I like this better than part 4, than the way he looks in that, with that huge fucking head that he has. Which I said, I'm pretty sure his head is that big at the end, just to make room for the machete going in and the whole effect that they had planned for that. But I love his maskless face in this. And this is the longest we see Jason without a mask, like in the whole series, which is cool. And then we have the fire stunt, which anyone who hasn't seen, I think I mentioned this in one of the early videos for this series. If anyone hasn't seen Kane Hodder to Hell and Back, like that documentary about his life and stuff, what a great watch. Like, you will have a whole new respect for this man upon watching that documentary. Like, it goes into his whole life, and then like, I never knew, like when he was young, like starting off as a stuntman, he did a fire stunt, like on the beach, like an unsupervised stunt really, and he got badly burned. Like, he almost died. And then he was in the hospital for like months on end, and it was in like a local hospital that didn't specialize in like burn victims at all. And like he could have died. And like that whole story and stuff. And then for him to go forward in his career and go on to do many other fire stunts, that takes balls, man. Like, to almost fucking die from fire and then just still willingly go in and do more fire stunts like that, that takes some fucking balls, like, for sure. Then we end on the lake with the father coming out of the water, and this is so fucking dumb, like, so stupid. And he looks like he just went into that water, like, fucking 15 minutes before he comes out. Like, there's no effects on him that make him look like he's been down there for a long-ass time, like 10 years or longer, whatever it is, from when Tina was a child and drowned him down there by accident. Like, really? Like, they couldn't, like, add anything to this father's face except for, like, some seaweed? Like, Jason, in the first movie, looks more decomposed and shit being in the lake. But yeah, he's been down there 30-something years or 20-something years, whatever you want to say. But still, this guy's been down there for half that. And he looks like he just got into the water. Like, it looks so stupid. And then the whole idea of just him coming out of the water and chaining Jason back up and him going back down at his resting place in Camp Crystal Lake. It's such a stupid ending, man. Like, it really is. Doesn't come anywhere near the next one, when it takes Manhattan. That ending is the fucking most egregious ending in this whole franchise. Like, with it turning into a fucking child again from New York sewage. Like, I'd love to know who wrote that bit in there. Like, who wrote that ending? Because I'm sure whoever wrote the screenplay for 8, I forget who it was, I almost guarantee they didn't put that shit in. Like, it was somebody, like a lower level, like an intern or like a junior writer or something, who said, oh, why don't we do this? And for some fucking reason, nobody on the set said, no, like, that's insane. Like, that is so dumb. Why would we do that? Every single person was on board? I guess so. They were on their way to Manhattan. They were on board anyway. They jumped on board with any idea that was brought their way. So that is Friday the 13th, Part 7, Weekend at Carrie's. And moving on to Friday Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, which he doesn't really take or get there, if we like logically break it down. But that's for the next one. Let's jump into Takes Manhattan. Take care, guys.